My commanding officer denied my leave request for my father's funeral. My siblings still haven't forgiven me, like it was my choice. My dad died suddenly while I was 8 months into a deployment. I requested emergency leave immediately. It's supposed to be close to automatic for an immediate family death, but my unit was in the middle of something classified as mission critical, and my request got denied at the operational level, something about timing and personnel gaps that couldn't be filled on short notice. I missed the funeral. I missed burying my own father. I found out from a 12-minute phone call, sitting on a cot, unable to do anything except listen to my mom cry on the other end of a bad connection. My siblings didn't fully understand the leave denial process or didn't want to. To them, I chose the military over showing up for our dad, the same way they'd resented my enlistment for years already, going back to before any of this happened. I came home 8 months later, once my deployment actually ended. There was no homecoming celebration waiting, just my family, quieter than I remembered, still visibly holding something against me that I'd had zero control over. At the first family dinner after I got back, my older sister said, flatly, "You could have tried harder to get leave." I explained, again, that it wasn't up to me, that I'd filed the paperwork the same day, that the denial came from someone above my pay grade entirely. She didn't really respond to that, just changed the subject. It's been over a year now, and things are still tense at every family gathering, this quiet resentment sitting under every conversation we have. I understand grief makes people look for somewhere to put their anger. I just wish it hadn't landed on me for a decision I never actually got to make. So, was it wrong for my family to hold this against me even after understanding I never had a choice in missing that funeral? I came home from deployment expecting a reunion with my son. Instead, my ex had already filed for full custody. My ex-wife and I share custody of our 7-year-old son. It's worked reasonably well for years, even after the divorce, mostly because we both prioritized keeping things stable for him. I deployed for a 9-month rotation with the standard family care plan in place, temporarily shifting more time to her during that period, which is completely normal and something we'd both agreed to in writing before I left. About 6 months in, I started noticing she was harder to reach. Video calls got shorter, less frequent. I chalked it up to her being busy, a single parent handling everything alone for months. When I got back, I expected the transition period we'd planned, easing back into shared custody over a few weeks. Instead, I was served papers 3 days after landing. She'd filed for full custody during my deployment, citing my extended absence and instability of military lifestyle as primary reasons, despite the fact that the absence was something we'd both agreed to in advance, in writing, months earlier. My first supervised visit with my own son happened in a courthouse family room, a caseworker present the entire time, my son confused about why he suddenly needed permission to hug me. He kept asking why we couldn't just go home together like before. I didn't have a good answer that a 7-year-old could actually understand. We're still in the middle of the custody hearing process. My lawyer says the family care plan paperwork should work strongly in my favor eventually. Eventually doesn't help much right now, sitting across a supervised visitation table from my own kid. So, was it wrong for her to use my deployment against me, even though it was something we'd both agreed to before I ever left? The woman who surprised me at my homecoming wasn't my girlfriend anymore. She'd broken up with me 4 months earlier. My family just didn't want me finding out overseas. My homecoming video is still online. My girlfriend at the time, or so I thought, running toward me at the airport, both of us crying, the whole thing looking exactly like every other emotional reunion video people love to share. What I didn't know, she'd actually broken up with me about 4 months before that video, over a call I don't even remember clearly because of how bad the connection was that week. My family found out shortly after it happened, decided among themselves that telling me mid-deployment would only distract me or hurt my focus, and quietly asked her, as a favor apparently, to still show up for the homecoming so I wouldn't come home to a breakup on top of everything else. She agreed, showed up, ran toward me, played the part convincingly enough that I had zero idea anything was wrong until almost 2 weeks later, when she finally told me the truth during what I thought was just an unusually distant conversation. I felt stupid, genuinely stupid, replaying that video in my head once I knew the truth, realizing an entire moment I'd treasured, one I'd actually re-watched multiple times during the hardest stretch of deployment, had been staged by people who claimed to love me. My mom's reasoning, when I confronted her, was that she didn't want me distracted or unsafe overseas, worrying about a relationship instead of the mission. I understood the logic. I still felt completely betrayed by it. The video's still up. People still comment on it sometimes, calling it one of the sweetest reunions they've seen. I've never corrected it publicly. Doesn't feel worth explaining to strangers. So, was my family wrong to stage that reunion, even if they thought they were protecting me?